So I think that's disgraceful. Plus, there are other things. I was never a fan of John McCain, and I never will be.
All right, that was President Trump yesterday. Again, Senator John McCain passed away in August, and Republicans have been, quiet. They've whispered their unhappiness with the president's statement. Lindsey Graham put out a very milquetoasty response to it. Well, now it seems there is one Republican senator who is willing to do something about it and say something more than just this bothers him a little. Johnny Isakson, a senator from Georgia, did an interview with A.B. Stoddard that was just posted in the bulk work. And Senator Isakson is apparently getting ready to make a statement on the Senate floor. This is why. He says, I just want to lay it on the line that the country deserves better. The McCain family deserves better. I don't care if he's president of the United States, owns all the real estate in New York, or is building the greatest immigration system in the world. Nothing is more important than the integrity of the country and those who fought and risked their lives for all of us. So Johnny Isakson, at least, Joe, is saying enough.
Yeah, well, and it's not, he's not one of the moderates. He's not, the Jeff Flakes. He's a very conservative guy. And the statement goes right at the heart of the problem Republicans in the Senate have had, which is they've basically taken a pass on integrity. This is too much. We have finally found for one member of the Senate that what the president does and what the president says is so disrespectful of what we all think are the norms of integrity. And John McCain is just the latest example. There are, dozens, if not hundreds of examples. And he's going to the floor. This is significant that someone's going to do this because for 2.5 years, they've stood by silently when this happens day after day after day. Will this impact Trump? Probably not. Does it impact the politics that go on in Washington? Maybe.
How pathetic that we are even talking about one senator out of 53 Republicans, and I guess Mitt Romney actually made a statement.
A tweet.
That was a tweet that pushed back. But how pathetic that 50 Republican senators have said nothing about this incredibly disgraceful performance by the president about John McCain, about their longtime colleague, John McCain. The fact that Johnny Isakson, who is on a national level a deeply obscure figure, that makes news because they are all such unbelievable cowards because they're afraid of Republican primaries. Tom Tillis, who made a principled statement about the emergency declaration, opposing the president's emergency declaration, ran off and hid and changed his vote, the North Carolina senator, because he was afraid of Trump. I mean, that just shows that's more relevant than one senator speaking up for John McCain.
It is remarkable that this is the place where we're at and this is the conversation we're having. It will be also interesting to see whether anyone else follows suit, right? If we start to hear more now that Johnny Isakson has spoken up, whether any of those other Republicans will speak up. Meghan McCain, Cindy McCain have been weighing in. Meghan McCain posting last night, as my father used to always say to me, illegitimate non carborundum, which, of course, don't let the bastards get you down, translated from the Latin. But what also stuck out to me is just the hateful messages that are being sent, not just from the Oval Office, but what this family is enduring. A message that Cindy McCain posted. We're going to put it up on the screen for you. She said, I want to make sure all of you could see how kind and loving a stranger can be. I'm posting her note for her family and friends to see. Take a look at that. Just vile things being said about the late senator, about her daughter. And listen, we know that there is a lack of decorum, certainly on social media. But when it gets to that point, at the same time, Toulouse, that we have the president saying social media is against me, they're trying to silence me. It's just remarkable to have these two things juxtaposed.
Yeah, normally you expect the president to refrain from sort of targeting people and putting people even in danger with his rhetoric. But this is a president who hasn't taken a lot of responsibility for the information he puts out there on social media. There are all kinds of people that are following his lead, listening to what he says, and using that to, make life really dangerous and difficult for people who are not necessarily involved even in the political sphere. This is a president who uses his Twitter account to attack individual private Americans. This is a president who is attacking a dead war hero. And it sort of shows how far we've gone from a sense of political decorum, that the president feels safe doing that. And he has support from a number of people in his party.
But isn't the real message not so much that Trump, is engaged in all this racism and bigotry online, defending Jeanine Pirro, who is an anti-Muslim bigot, on the weekend after the massacre in New Zealand. But isn't the real message how many people agree with him? Mm-hmm. This is not a bug, it's a feature. The fact that the president attacks Muslims in this vulgar way, the fact that he attacks John McCain, people like that. people like that. It's not, that's the message to me. Not that it's some problem that he's trying to solve.
And I think,
you're right, sadly.
And I think if you look at the weekend, you saw not the president letting off steam. I think you saw his strategy for 2020, which is this sense of grievance against the so-called elites and the people with power is what connects him to a big part of America. And you're going to see a whole lot more of it. And he couldn't care less what anybody says about him, except for those people.
All right, Joe, Toulouse, Jeffrey, thank you very much.